What is up, wrestling fans? It is another Friday night, and it's your boys, Chris the Heat Matthews, the Tennessee Jesus Carl Crossland, the WrestleGeddon podcast. We are live. What's going on, Carl?
I don't know, man. My ash can is pretty prominent today. It's live and in your face.
Oh, man. Awesome. Oh, man. Always a good time here on the WrestleGeddon podcast. Always a good time. Make sure you check us out. Social media. Make sure you follow us there so you don't miss it when we're going live. Right now, if you're watching, you can find us. Of course, if you're watching, you know where you can find us at. But if you're listening, once this goes up after we're done recording, you can find us at youtube.com/forthecollection and facebook.com/WrestleGeddonPod, where you can watch us live every week, every Friday night, 9 p.m. But I digress. Let's get into the show. Let's kick it off like we normally do with the random band entrance theme. If you're not familiar with this, basically we have every musician, artist, band in a generator. Randomizes it, and we get just a random band every week. And we pick a song that we would use as our theme song. So let's get it. All right, and the random artist this week was Wiz Khalifa. Wiz Khalifa. I already forgot what song I was doing. Huh. Yeah, there it was. Carl, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I was asking if you want me to go first.
Oh, no, I didn't hear you. I think you froze.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. But you can go first if you want to.
Yeah, I was going to go. I doubt you picked the one I'm going with anyway. But I decided to go with On My Level, featuring Too Short.
Okay. That was one of them that I had in mind, but I went with this one instead, which is Work Hard, Play Hard.
That was one of the three that I was going with.
There's that or Shell Shocked from the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles movie.
I thought you was going to do the come out in like Dusty Roads, polka dots, and come out the black and yellow. Black and yellow.
Garrett would have picked that one. Awesome. All right. Cool. So Wiz Khalifa, what we got for next week?
Next week we got the British indie rock band Blossoms.
Blossoms, not to be confused with the Gin Blossoms.
Or wasn't that a TV show too? Blossom?
Yeah.
Or a sitcom or something, I remember.
Yep. 90s sitcom. All right, awesome. So there is your random band entrance theme of the week. Let's kick it over to the Elite Figure of the Week, which is brought to you by EntertainmentEarth.com. Use the code FTCollect and save up to 10% on all in-stock items. Elite Figure of the Week is exactly what it says it is. I pick an Elite figure, and that's a showcase for the week. The one I happen to pick this week is the Legend Series 3 Hacksaw Jim Duggan figure, which is probably by far one of my favorite Hacksaw figures.
Yeah,
cool. Got the
also like
2x4.
Also like Hacksaw Jim Duggan, because like when I see your mom, I'll go. you missed the joke. You're supposed to say ho.
I thought you were going to say that. I started laughing.
No. But that used to be like a joke, like Hacksaw Jim Duggan when I was a little kid in school. Like your mom said, ho.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, this is a solid figure. I don't remember what year this came out with. I think it's like 2012, 2011. Somewhere around there. It's one of the early releases for the Legends figures. But it was a great figure.
Yeah, back when wrestlers used to fight the communists and the Middle Easterns and the Japanese.
When it was an insult with the USA chant. Oh, such a great figure. All right. So here's your elite figure of the week. And now it's time to get in the ring. Our instant replay segment, which of course is brought to you by W. Visit W.GG to order your energy drinks and hydration drinks. Use the code WrestleGeddon at checkout to save yourself 10%. All right. I do not have much for news this week. I know there's a lot of rumors going around with Natalia's contract. I know we kind of talked a little bit about that next week.
There's also some rumors about Gable's contract.
Yeah.
We can talk about that, though, I guess, when we talk about Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. So, but Natalia's been participating a lot on Raw and a lot on NXT. But there's rumors of participation in the Owen Hart Cup if she does end up leaving WWE to go to AEW. And that would be a great way to debut her, honestly, in my opinion. Is why not put her in that and then have her win it? So.
I don't know. I thought, like, from watching that Beyond the Ring episode on Owen Hart, I don't think Owen's wife gets along with the Hart family that much.
I know she didn't get along. I know she doesn't do well with Brett. That Beyond the Ring thing, because Brett kept pushing for her to just let it go and let Owen get his flowers and everything for what he did in the wrestling business.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe with maybe we could see a change in that with Triple H in charge and Vince out of the picture with WWE. Maybe we can see quite possibly a change in that because from what I understand, Triple H and Owen were pretty close. So that could be too.
I don't think it was like the fact that like Vince McMahon extended the olive branch. I think it's she and rightfully so. Like I'm not trying to criticize her in any way. 'Cause, like, you know, if my spouse died through what I thought was negligence from the company, I would be upset.
I don't blame her at all.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, but from how I understand the situation, I think like Vince McMahon has tried to, you know, reach out to maybe put like Owen in the Hall of Fame and stuff, and it's like no, she just didn't want Owen to be associated with that company. And I don't think it's just like a Vince McMahon. I think it's just like a WWF, WWE, like in general.
I mean, and that could be a possibility. Like for me, it's just wishful thinking. Getting Owen back into like the WWE fold, because honestly, what has AEW really done for the legacy of Owen Hart? Like,
not too much.
Oh, I mean, we got a few action figures and Owen Hart,
some good some cool tights. So. Well, yeah.
So, but I mean, that's pretty much it. Like they haven't really, and it's kind of with AEW's part, it is kind of hard to do anything with Owen's legacy since they don't have any of like the film rights or footage rights or anything for Owen for a really solid chunk of his career in the WWE, WWF. So you can't really do much for that legacy if you don't have anything to work off of or pull from. Because
I think they show more.
Yeah,
they show more of like the Canadian Stampede, or what was it? What's the name of that?
Stampede.
Stampede Wrestling. New Japan, like some New Japan stuff, and
I mean that's pretty much the only thing that they can show, and not a lot of us not a lot of those fans that grew up watching Owen Hart in WWF were familiar with his stuff in New Japan or Stampede Wrestling. So that's just it's one of those things. So, but we'll see where Natalya goes. Personally, I think she's an asset to WWE. She'd be an asset to AEW too, just her knowledge and her ability. She is probably one of the most underrated women's wrestlers on the roster. And a lot of people like to dig at Natalya, but she's one of the better ones. Especially training the new talent or lending her expertise to the younger talent too. In either company, I think is an asset. So at the end of the day, it's Natalya's choice on what's best for her. So we'll see where she goes from there.
Yeah. Yeah, AEW could definitely benefit from her. I just don't see like them pushing her though. Yeah. So like I think if she does go to AEW, it'd be like more for her wanting to teach people. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Let's say if she goes, like, you have her win the Owen Hart thing, and she's hot for a little bit, and then it just kind of fizzles out like everyone else does. I'm trying to scan through some news here. Dijak's contract is coming up too.
Yeah.
That whole T-bar gimmick did not help him at all. That pretty much killed like any momentum he had in NXT.
I don't know. I never was
been hard getting that back.
Yeah, I don't know. I never was a huge Dijak fan though. Like, so I'm not like crying that he's leaving or anything. And they actually might do him some good because sometimes you can leave. It put some motivation behind you to get better.
I mean, he has some really great matches in NXT with Keith Lee, but that's pretty much like the gist of his WWE.
Yeah, but everybody's had great matches with Keith Lee.
Yeah.
It's Keith Lee. That's like he had a great match with Daniel Bryanson. It's like most people do.
I know he has some great matches in Ring of Honor when he was there. I remember watching a few of those. I think he needs a refresh, honestly. So if that involves them not renewing his contract and him going somewhere else, hey, it could be good for him.
Yeah, it's one of the things. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't think he sucks. Like, he sucks. But I don't see him like ever being in like the Damian Priest position. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But you kind of saw that with Damian Priest. Like, he had flashes like in NXT. You're like, oh yeah, this dude probably could carry the company. And then he got in on Raw and got a pretty good push there at the beginning and then during Judgment Day. And you're like, yeah, I see it all along. Whereas, like, when I think about Crowbar or T-Bar or T-Bone, whatever he wants to call himself, I don't see it.
And that's the thing too with Priest. Like, you could tell they're positioning him for something big. Like, they don't just put you in a match with like a celebrity for no reason. Like, and they did that to him twice, and that tag that with him and the Miz, and then Priest and Bad Bunny at Backlash last year.
Yeah, but
last year,
on Priest's behalf, they gave him the opportunity, and he capitalized on it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, they could have promoted him from NXT, and he could have came out and sucked like a few others or fell flat. But he put in the work, and he proved himself, and he is where he is, and Dijak's where he is.
Absolutely. Priest is killing it as bisexual Undertaker.
It still cracks me up when I hear people say it.
Oh man, it's awesome. Oh, all right. Big thing coming off of SmackDown last week, AJ Styles. We kind of touched on it a little bit while we were recording. But Styles came out to announce his retirement, quote unquote, and pulled a Mark Henry and ended up beating down Cody Rhodes. So,
yeah.
I thought it was a good segment, and I'm excited to see Cody and Styles go at it.
Yeah, they had a pretty good match last time. The only thing is, like, I don't know. I kind of felt it like too soon for a rematch. And it's one of those things where I want him to give it to Styles because, like, Cody can win it right back, like, if they want to do that. But to me, it's like Styles has like lost so many like marquee matches. Like, I think he's kind of due for a win.
Yeah,
I know before, like I said, like, you don't really have to win to be good, like him and Seth Rollins, but it's just been a while since he's had a win, so I think he does kind of need a big win. The last couple title shots he's had, he didn't come away with it. So
yeah, but he's still positioned to be like still positioned as a top talent on SmackDown. I'm kind of interested with this the TNA WWE partnership. You know, we got Slammiversary coming up. Will this partnership last that long? Will we see Styles back in the TNA ring?
I know
Moose versus Styles.
Yeah, I know Jordan Grace had said Moose was interested in working with WWE. So maybe.
I'm excited for it. Like, the possibilities are endless with this, especially with now you have Ethan Page with NXT as well, and that's another TNA guy. Then you look at TNA's roster with guys like Brian Myers. You have Eric Young back in TNA. A few other guys in there that were WWE guys too at one point. So it could go both ways. I'm still looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome.
I don't want it to be like some kind of like crazy like invasion story. Yeah. But I think like there's like a few like key matchups you could probably do. And I think like what you could do to me is you could have Jordan Grace win, right?
Yeah.
Is it Saturday or Sunday?
It's the 9th. So Sunday?
Sunday?
Yep.
Yeah. If it was me and I was Triple H and we're working on an agreement with TNA, and I think this would benefit both companies, but my idea is you have like Jordan Grace kind of win the women's NXT title, right? Yep. And you kind of have her take it to TNA, and have her like kind of talk shit about like WWE, like, yeah, we won the NXT title off of WWE, and then have her, talk shit for like a couple weeks or whatever, and then maybe have like a few other people kind of mention it. But then you kind of, you can have AJ Styles kind of interfere and be like, hey, like, y'all been talking a lot of shit about WWE and you won the NXT title, but that's our developmental brand. Like, why don't you put somebody against like a real WWE superstar and have him challenge Moose for the TNA title? Like, hey, why don't you put your title on the line?
Yeah,
against like a WWE star, and in that way, you don't have to have him drop it. I mean, you don't have to have Moose drop it to AJ Styles. You can have like some kind of interference or something. But that would put like a lot of eyes. You know what I mean? Like, put a lot of eyes. Like, oh shit, absolutely. Is AJ Styles going to win the title? And Moose is a hell of an athlete. I think him and Styles would have like a really good match, and they both are really good characters, and I think they both could, shoot promos at each other and get a lot of ratings for TNA. So I think this is basically what Triple H is doing. Is I think he's trying to put more viewership on TNA, just to fuck with AEW. It's like,
And the whole
I'll make
thing
you
with
the
that,
third.
the whole thing with that too, with you have Jordan Grace win the NXT Women's Title, then you can have Roxanne Perez show up and be like, "Yeah, I want my rematch," and then build that out to TNA Slammiversary pay-per-view. Then you have Jordan Grace putting the NXT Women's Title on the line, or maybe it's a triple threat match, and then first pin gets this title, first pin gets that title, and you put both titles on the line or something like that.
Yeah,
just to kind of make it more of like a high stakes matchup, or Roxanne or Jordan puts both titles on the line against Roxanne.
Yeah, but I heard a lot of people saying this, and it's a lot of them are like AEW marks, and they're like, well, they're just trying to copy AEW because AEW has the Forbidden Door. AEW has the dude. This is the real Forbidden Door. This is where the term comes from. You know what I mean? Like half the people on AEW had already had titles in New Japan while they were wrestling for AEW.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not a Forbidden Door. Like we know the company who has been working together.
You cannot sit there and say that WWE is copying AEW with this. WWE used to do this all the time. Like had a working relationship with New Japan, had a working relationship with AAA, had working relationships with Smoky Mountain Wrestling, Memphis Wrestling, had all these working relationships with all these other companies to either develop talent or showcase talent. Look what WWE did with ECW. That whole ECW invasion type angle when they first started with, RVD jumping off the giant Raw letters. Or no, it was Sabu that did that. Like WWE's had working relationships with other companies before, and just as they got bigger, they didn't have to do that anymore because they had the talent and they were able to pull or snag talent from these other companies that they wanted because they had the money to pay them the contract. So I mean, it's not anything new in professional wrestling. It's just it's been done before. There's hardly anything in wrestling now that's new. Everything is done at some point or another. So
and WCW used to do like the WCW versus New Japan pay-per-view and stuff.
But
it's just one of those things.
Japan faction. So
yeah, but it's one of those things. Like whenever I was talking about the Forbidden Door, like in the past, like the last 5 or 6 years, they were talking about WWE. That was the Forbidden Door because WWE wasn't working with these other companies. Like that's the whole reason why that term exists. Like Forbidden Doors, because WWE wasn't working with these companies. Now I know Tony Khan like copyrighted it and made it a pay-per-view, but AEW already had a working relationship. Like Jon Moxley was what belt did he had like at least one of the belts, right? The US title maybe?
I think it was the IWGP US title or Intercontinental title or something, one of the two when he was in
but yeah, he had like one of the like while he was AEW champion, right? Or am I wrong?
Might have been. I know Kenny Omega had.
He just never brought the belt out. Like he never brought the belt out to the ring, but he had it. I don't know if it was like why he was champion, but anyway, it's like he was signed by. He's like under contract with AEW. Like them in New Japan already had like a working relationship before the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. So it's not like the companies were opening up to each other. They already had the relationship. Tony Khan just heard the term Forbidden Door and liked that term and decided to call the pay-per-view where they verse each other Forbidden Door, but they've always worked together.
Damn. I mean, it's the same too, because you look at Kenny Omega holding the AAA Mega title, AEW World title, and the TNA title all at the same time. Like, it's not a Forbidden Door. So it just doesn't make any sense. What am I looking at here? Jon Moxley. June 5th, 2019, he was the IWGP United States champion. And I think you're right. I think he was AEW World Champion at that same time.
Or pretty close.
Yeah, right around, pretty close. It was he won the AEW World title February 29th, 2020.
Okay, so but still, he was under contract with AEW and had been in a bunch of matches.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things. Like I don't think like WWE is trying to copy. Like, oh, AEW has Forbidden Door coming up. Let's have somebody from TNA show up.
Yeah.
Where'd you go? Or did I drop? I guess maybe you dropped because on mine it still said I'm live. So I'm gonna continue talking like I am live. I just don't know where we're about to go in the next segment. What we was talking about. Oh, there he goes.
My internet browser froze up on me and then it closed. So, like, great.
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell, like, if I'm live or if you're live. So I'm like, I don't know if I'm on the podcast. I'm like, so I just start rambling. I'm like, yeah, we lost Chris. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. He has all the
Fortunately, once the stream starts going, it stays going until I end it. So that's the beauty of StreamYard. All right. Anyway, Chad Gable this past Monday night. Oh my God! Like, are they really leaning into this Bully character to the point where he's getting high praise from Bully Ray? Like,
yeah,
it's a phenomenal job Monday night with that.
So his contract's up.
That was relatively soon, isn't it?
Yeah, and what is crazy is like people are talking about like this is why I said that there's been like a lot of rumors around it. There's a lot of people saying that his contract is up before Clash of the Castle. So they're like, oh, is he going to do a Jeff Jarrett where he's going to hold him up for some money? Which I don't think Triple H would go for. I think Triple H should just back out and book another match.
Yeah.
And then there's some people saying that he's going to win the Intercontinental title so that they can keep him. And I don't think Gable is that guy. Like, I don't think he's the guy that's going to be like, well, you got to give me the title or I'm not going to sign with you. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
I don't think that's it at all. Like, the way they've been positioning
despite
him too.
Yeah.
Like, his booking and stuff since WrestleMania when Sammy won the title, like, this is probably the best storyline he's been in.
Or like even like a little before that, they kind of like was leading into it. But I'm gonna say this: like, I never was a really huge fan of Chad Gable, and I talked a lot of shit about his size. Talked a lot of shit about it, his personality. But this last little stretch, man, I'm in. I actually care about Alpha Academy. Still not a huge fan of Otis, but he's in Alpha, you know what I mean? And it's part of the story. And I enjoy it. Like, and I want to apologize now to Chad Gable and say I was wrong. I don't do this very often, but I was wrong about the guy, and I enjoy it.
I was sitting there Monday watching this whole thing, and when Gable pushed Sammy into Otis, knocking Maxine and Tozawa off the apron, I knew Otis was going to turn around and lay out Sammy, and I'm sitting there yelling at TV like, Otis, no!
Don't do it, Otis. Yeah. But it's been good, man, and
this
like they've been
Go ahead.
I was gonna say like WWE's been kind of killing it with the stories here, like because everybody was like worried about like the Bloodline story ending and like what are they doing? But like you got so much going on right now, and we'll get into some of the other stories going on. But this is like keeps you wanting to watch it. You know what I mean? Because you kind of like not only do you care about like the match and who's going to win and stuff like that, but you also care about the characters.
Yeah,
You
like
care
said,
about
like,
you care about what's going on. Yeah,
you're watching Otis and going through all this stuff, and you can tell he's conflicted. Like, like Gable's been there for me. He's done all this stuff to help me with my career, and then like, what that you shouldn't be taking this abuse, but it's like it's one of those things, and it's the same thing with Tozawa and Maxine. That same type of reaction that they're getting is like, I'm not doing that. But then like Gable gets in her face and like forces them to do it. But yeah, this whole story arc has been great, and this has got to culminate with Gable winning that IC title off of Sammy.
yeah. I mean, I don't think he has to. I don't think he has to. I think he can. I think they can like spin it into like a feud with Otis or something, or with maybe Chad Gable starting his own faction to go against Alpha Academy. Or they could like lean into that. Like I don't think it necessarily has to end in him winning the Intercontinental title, but it would be nice.
I'm honestly surprised they haven't gotten the Creed brothers involved in this yet, because they were rolling pretty tight with Alpha Academy there for a while.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of trying. I'm thinking like if he doesn't win the Intercontinental title, I think it'll probably go into something where it's kind of like maybe like Chad brings in the Creed brothers, and then maybe like Otis doesn't like it. Maybe they split up, or maybe they disband altogether, but kind of have like a feud going with Alpha Academy versus the Creeds, and
yeah,
something like that.
We'll see where they're going with this, but it's a pretty solid story. Another storyline, we got Bruin on Raw. You got the Liv Morgan's Revenge Tour still rolling strong.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're starting to see other members of the Judgment Day get involved in this too, kind of trying to keep Liv away from Dom, specifically Finn. He's kind of cock blocked Liv a few times there.
Yeah, but it's kind of hints of maybe Finn getting involved with Liv too.
Yeah,
you know,
a possibility.
I mean, I don't know if you caught on some of the like little subtle, because when they show like Judgment Day like are arriving to the arena, like you see like Finn kind of whisper something to JD, but you don't really know what he said. And then like bringing them out to kind of cock block Liv, as you kind of put it. Like you kind of don't know like his involvement, and I'm kind of curious of like how they're gonna go with it. Like like is Finn gonna get involved with it, or is Liv going like directly after Dom, or is she kind of going after all of Judgment Day? Because then you brought like the Braun Strowman.
I was gonna say the only specific she had was, I'm taking everything away from you. That's the women's title and everything else. So she didn't really give specifics like the Judgment Day, Dominic. She just said, I'm taking everything from you.
Yeah, and when she says that, like, is she taking it like as in like she's going to join Judgment Day and take it that way, or is she going to like destroy Judgment Day from like the inside? And then you kind of have like the Braun Strowman thing, like kind of get involved because you had Priest kind of want them to do something about Braun Strowman, and like he's introduced into the kind of the title picture too, because you have like Braun Strowman, McIntyre, who else? I'm forgetting somebody.
Gunther.
You have Gunther because that was like last Monday, and it's like it's like an onion. There's like so many elements of like what's going on. And then two, it's like I think they might use this as like a story arc for Dom too. Like maybe he kind of sees Liv for like what she is. You know what I mean? Like if you think about it, like the whole thing with like him and Rhea Ripley, it's kind of like, you know, we've all been there, like especially like young men, where like we are into women, especially like older women, like more developed women, and you see older women kind of manipulate like younger men, right? And that kind of is like what happened with Rhea and Dom, right? She was mommy. She's been kind of like dominating them or whatever. Maybe Dominic doesn't fall for Liv, but he kind of sees Liv for what she is, an older, attractive woman trying to seduce him. And then he uses that to kind of realize like that's what Rhea is doing to me too. You get what I'm saying? Like it kind of brings clarity to his situation. That's another way they can go with it. You know what I mean? Kind of like a soap opera type.
And you're talking like long-term storytelling with this too, because you're looking back at all this stuff like between Rhea and Dom. Like this all started when Dom was still tagging with Ray.
Yeah.
Like she got him to turn on his dad and join the Judgment Day.
Because like I said, and that's the reason why it's so good is because like it's stuff that you can relate to, right? Like people had shitty girlfriends, or maybe if it wasn't you, you had a friend, a cousin, a brother, or somebody that had the shitty girlfriend that you know was bad for him, and now he doesn't talk to the family because the family doesn't like her. You know what I'm saying? Like it's relatable stuff. And you know,
absolutely.
Sometimes you need Finn Balor to come out and be like, "Hey, man, think with your brain and not your penis." Like, come on, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah. No, but yeah, they've been killing it recently with like the Judgment Day stuff. At one point, it's like, where's this going? What are we doing with this? And I think once they finally got the traction going, you know, they did the whole storyline with kicking out Edge, bringing in Finn, and then, you know, just the role that they're on now.
Yeah, you had the R-Truth stuff.
Yeah. So they've been doing a great job.
I still think too, that might be another, like, Liv might be the reason why Damian Priest gets kicked out. Because I think like ultimately Damian Priest is going to kind of get kicked out. And then, like, him kind of ordering everybody around, like, you know, having them go after, like, Braun Strowman and stuff. Or, you know, he says he doesn't want help, but then he wants you to go after one of the biggest motherfuckers in the company. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
big
it's like...
son of a bitch.
So I think, like, I don't know, there might be something with Finn and Liv and two, and then maybe Carlito might join the group. And that might be like what kind of forces Damian Priest out.
Yep. So I can see like the other thing I was looking at this too is like you have Finn and JD been running as a tag team lately since Priest has won the world title. So that could be another split too. You have Finn and JD just break off from Judgment Day and go do their own thing. So I mean that's another possibility.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Speaking of possibilities, Saturday night, we've got NXT's Battleground. Nope. Don't want to do that yet. Full screen layout. Let's take a look at the card here for this, which actually looks pretty solid. Like a stacked card. I think the only match that's not on here that I don't see is Ethan Page versus Trick Williams.
I was going to say, I thought Trick Williams was wrestling.
Yeah, he's supposed to be wrestling Ethan Page, but that's not on here. So, We've got Jordan Grace taking on Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship. We talked a little bit about that already. You have the 6-pack ladder match for the newly introduced NXT Women's North American title. You have, was that Lash Legends, Sol Ruka, Fallon Henley. Literally the only two that I recognize in there.
My pictures are way too small. The only thing I can tell is like there's a white girl at the bottom and a white girl, two white girls at the top.
Yeah, I can't
really.
And
then looks like I can't really tell because I think I can't really tell because the bottom left of me looks like I thought that was Seven Kiss at first. But
on the bottom left, yeah, that's Gallows and Anderson taking on the team of Axiom and Nathan Frazier for the NXT Tag Team titles, and then you got
no, I was talking about on the women's picture, the bottom left girl. My small, y'all know what it looks like blow up because I can see like a small screen. And on my small screen, it kind of looks like Sunny Kiss a little bit.
Oh, the one on the one next to Soul.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. White skin Sunny Kiss.
Yeah. Then we got an NXT Battleground match with Shayna Baszler and Lola Vice, which should be pretty solid.
Yeah,
it's a pretty stacked card, especially with the inclusion of Jordan Grace and Roxanne Perez. That's going to be a banger, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, I just don't know about the underground match. Like, I don't know. It might be all right.
Yeah, I like Lola Vice. I like Shayna Baszler. I don't know how well Lola is going to do in this type of a matchup. This is really catered toward Shayna.
Yeah, it might just be a squash match, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't be surprised. I forgot the Men's North American Championship, Obafemi versus Wesley versus Joe Coffey. Which looks like a pretty solid matchup. It's a great card for the Sunday. This is coming from the UFC Apex in Las Vegas. So it should be pretty solid. And I'm looking forward to Ethan Page versus Trick Williams. That's going to be a good match, no matter who comes out. The victor in that one, that should be solid.
Yeah.
I got a feeling this women's ladder match, I'm going to go on a limb here and say Sol Ruka is going to do something crazy.
Yeah, that's what you're given.
That Soul Snatcher is getting hit off of something, like a ladder, something. So.
I want to go out on limb and say Wesley wins the North American title.
I can see that happening because that would be the best way to put it back on him since he had to give it up because he was injured. So that would be the best way to put it back on him is have him pin Joe Coffey, and that way you don't have Obafemi taking the pinfall for that.
Yeah.
So they're building him up. That dude's a beast. So. That should be pretty awesome. Really don't watch a lot. Haven't really paid too close attention to NXT to do picks for that.
Yeah, I haven't either. I need to watch more of it though. I need to watch more TNA too.
Yeah,
I've really been following. It's like the Joe Henry storyline.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did watch. Skip the slide there. AEW this week. Some weeks I wonder why I continue watching this. Like there wasn't, like I fast forwarded through some of it. Specifically the stuff featuring Jericho. I think
like the learning tree.
It's so freaking annoying. Like it's hi guys, how you doing guys? Looking good guys. It's just so freaking irritating and annoying. I mean, he's doing his job because that's how it's supposed to come off as, but it's just like I don't want to see it anymore. So let's just fast forwarded through that. I think Moxley wrestled too. I think I fast forwarded through that. The promo at the beginning with MJF and Roosh was pretty good. So that's going to happen. I think that match is happening at Forbidden Door. So that should be pretty solid. Roosh is a great talent. MJF, we all No, MJF. MJF is great. Coming out there in his
he's going off injury.
Leather jacket. So they had that. Mark Briscoe qualified for the TNT Championship ladder match at Forbidden Door.
So he's uninjured.
Mark Briscoe, yeah. He's the freaking ROH World Champion, and they're putting him in this TNT title match.
Yeah, I think they kind of dropped the ball with Ring of Honor. Like, they either need to, like, can it or, like, completely separate it, in my opinion.
Oh, excuse me. Whew. Yeah, it needs to be, they need to separate the titles. Like, keep them separate on there. Like, if they're on the ROH brand, let them stay on ROH and let them run that. There's like so many people that can cross over between the two of them, but the way that their talent pool is already like overpopulated, I think at this point it's like just keep them kind of like their own separate entities.
Yeah, I mean, you could have like one person here or there, but to me, like, I don't know. I don't know what his original plans was when he bought the company. You know, I think he just bought it just because he could buy it. It's like, because I don't see like a clear like business plan for it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he just has it, doesn't really know what to do with it. It's like to me, it's just like extra titles. You know, it's like extra titles I have on AEW, so everybody can have titles.
Pretty much, but if you look at it though, both companies between AEW, Ring of Honor, and WWE and NXT, I think we broke this down a while ago. But even with the inclusion of like the women's television championship on ROH, and now the women's North American title, they still have the same amount of titles for both companies. But it just seems like more because AEW keeps showcasing like the CMLL titles and the New Japan titles. So it just looks like AEW has more titles on their programming than what they should.
Well, so let me kind of rephrase what I'm saying. I'm not saying like there's, for example, like if I watch Raw, right, I'm not gonna see the NXT North American champion show up to do a tag team spot for the Raw tag team titles.
Yeah.
On Raw. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're separate brands, they have their own storylines going. I mean, I guess maybe I just haven't watched enough Ring of Honor, but it's not really like available enough, you know what I mean? And there's like no clear cut like storylines or anything like that. It seems like every once in a while they'll like throw together a pay-per-view that's like Ring of Honor, and then the rest of the time they're just busy like sprinkling in Ring of Honor guys and Ring of Honor titles on Dynamite, Rampage, and on the AEW pay-per-views. And it's like,
yep.
You get what I'm saying? Like, either separate the companies or like just do away with the company. Like,
because you remember when they brought up when Braun Breaker came up to SmackDown those first couple of times, he was NXT Tag Champs with Baron Corbin, but he didn't come out with the NXT Tag title around his waist. But they did mention that he was one half of the NXT Tag Champions, and I think that's fine. Just mentioning it, like, they don't need to showcase the title, and that's one of those things too. It's like they're still kind of keeping it separate, but still mentioning, you know, the accomplishments of that person on that show or on that brand for whatever story arc they've been doing.
Yeah. But it's just one of those things where, like, I wish he wouldn't have bought the company because he hasn't done anything with it, and it's
I think from stuff that I've been seeing, like other people commenting on, it seems like Ring of Honor, as far as like storyline wise goes, and some of the matches are a lot more are put together better than some of the stuff that happens on Dynamite and Rampage and Collision.
where can you see it though? Where is it on?
It's on. You have to
something?
subscribe to Honor Club for like $10 a month. Yeah, that's the only way you can get
I'm
it.
not doing that.
Yeah, I would rather have a weekly show on TV somewhere on like a different streaming service or something. Like come on, Tony, like work out this deal with Warner Brothers and get your stuff on Max. It can't be that difficult. Oh, anywho, main event for Dynamite: Swerve Strickland versus Roderick Strong. My question with this, it was a good match, a very good match. But does Swerve have to wrestle on every show?
He does, because that's the big thing they've been doing now. It's like he's the fight champion, and the other company, because of the whole Roman Reigns stuff, and a lot of people feel like Cody hasn't wrestled enough, and Priest hasn't wrestled enough because Priest didn't wrestle at Crown Jewel. That AEW is somewhat better because their champions wrestle every night.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you can still wrestle every night. Just have some kind of storyline behind it. Like, why are we getting why is it just random matches? I know they're calling them like championship eliminator matches. I mean, it's just stupid. In my point, yes. Really
I mean, I like Swerve. I like Swerve.
I love Swerve.
He puts on really good matches.
He does. It's just like you can put him in other types of matches. Like you can do a tag match with him and somebody else against, whoever he's going up against at the next pay-per-view, and that his partner's opponent for the next pay-per-view. I think you can do something like that. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be a singles match every week.
I tell you what too is like I like to see him in like a feud to where it's not like him just getting beat down by somebody.
Yeah. Get beat down by a group of people every week.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't know. I like the Christian match was pretty good.
Yeah, but that match was good, but they ended up building a story into it too. Like, yeah, they didn't have enough time to build. It was a short build to that match, but at least there was something there, some kind of substance. But they also went back to when Swerve attacked Nick Wayne, last year. So they went back to all that stuff too and brought that into the storyline. So there was some kind of foundation already there, and they referenced it, and that makes sense. But what do we have with Swerve and Roderick Strong that, this match has to happen? Like, especially when he just lost the title match at the pay-per-view and then gets put into, a title match. So
let me tell you something, Chris, is I want you to be quiet right now, because what you're going to do is you're going to end up jinxing everything, or we're going to end up getting Swerve going to the learning tree. For knowledge.
Yeah, probably. Who knows?
Oh god, I think like if Christian wasn't doing so well, like with the patriarchy thing, I think like the Jericho learning tree might have been a better gimmick, or like when to me, like if he's gonna go with this learning tree gimmick, that would probably be like a prime opportunity to do that was like when AEW first started, and like Chris Jericho was the only like really seasoned veteran like on the roster, and you could be like, oh yeah, he's the learning tree, but like Edge and Christian or like this as good as you were, Sting, all these guys that you had in AEW, like You're not the learning tree.
Oh shit! I guess I could have watched this on the TNA Plus app.
Oh, speaking of news, I don't know if it's a rumor or not. I heard that WWE was looking into hiring Arn Anderson as Cody's manager.
Oh really? That'd be cool.
That's what I heard, but it's like one of those things where it could just be bullshit on a wrestling, wrestling talk site.
I think it'd be pretty cool. If they do that. I mean, it worked pretty well in AEW there for a little bit, but I think with the creative team with WWE, I think it would be better.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's get into some other promotion stuff this week. Impact Wrestling had their 20th anniversary show. 20 years of TNA. 20 years of TNA. Looked like a pretty solid show. I did not get a chance to watch this yet. But we had in the main event, it was Nick Nemeth taking on Frankie Kazarian, which is kind of fitting because Kazarian was on the first ever episode of TNA and it's on the 20th. So, props to Kaz, the king of TNA. This match had the System attack afterwards, taking out Nick Nemeth. Then we get a video message from Matt Hardy featuring the entire Hardy clan, all four kids and Queen Rebecca, inviting the System to the Hardy compound on next week's Impact. So the show went off the air with that.
Think we're gonna get a Hardy compound match.
I think we're gonna get a final deletion again, or ultimate deletion match. With it'll be Matt Hardy, Nick Nemeth, and probably Ryan Nemeth. The three of them versus the System.
Then have Matt Hardy win, and he won't get deleted. He'll get re-uploaded to Matt Hardy 4.0.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Next week's show, they announced also Nick and Ryan Nemeth versus Ace Austin and Chris Bay. So that should be a pretty solid match, too. That's pretty much what I got for other promotions this week. You know, MLW had a pretty solid show last week with some Hall of Famers showing up there, like Mark Henry and a couple other guys. So that was pretty cool.
You seen Joe Henry's like little concert thing where he did like covers of he did AJ Styles entrance music. He did like a cover of like Creed. Yeah, Garrett showed me today at work. It was pretty funny.
That's awesome. That is awesome. All right. Local promotions. Biggest one that I found this week was this one looks to be a pretty solid show. This is, damn it, that's no Holds Barred. Stop it.
Who's that up top? Is that Ricky Moore or Tommy Rich?
That is Tommy Rich. That is Tommy Rich. This one is taking place in Hendersonville, North Carolina. This is tomorrow. 7 o'clock.
That's a drive.
Yeah. You got RT3 and Tommy Rich taking on the team of George South and the Barbarian. A bunch of local guys in here too, which support your local wrestling. You never know where some of these guys are going to end up in a few years. There's a team called there's a team on here called Ice Cream Truck, and it's two big dudes, but one guy's got a clown as a clown makeup.
Oh, okay.
So it looks pretty good. So if you're looking for something to do, there's a whole bunch of wrestling between here and freaking Tennessee. From what the there's a North Carolina wrestling page I'm on Facebook that people just post their upcoming shows in there if they're in like a certain distance. So it's like stuff from here to Tennessee to Georgia to Virginia. There's a lot of wrestling going on this weekend. So I'm sure if you just Google wrestling in whatever area you're in, you might find something that's pretty close to you.
Yeah. Or if you watch TikTok Live, there's a few people go live from like little indie shows and stuff.
Oh yeah, that was it that mystery wrestling that's commentated by Evil Uno. I know they do lives, broadcast their shows on TikTok as well. It's a lot of cool stuff. So, this is a great time to be a wrestling fan, honestly, and there's so much access to wrestling. It's ridiculous.
And like I said, like Raw and SmackDown and like all these storylines and stuff. It's like a renaissance of wrestling, getting back to the roots of everything.
Absolutely. It's freaking awesome. All right. So that's going to do it for our instant replay segment. Let's go ahead and hop over to Nope. All right. No holds barred. It's pretty much the part of the show where we talk about whatever we want to, either wrestling related, not wrestling related, just whatever would happen to come across.
You have the Disney subscription. Have you watched that Star Wars?
Oh, I have not watched that yet.
I heard that like it's supposed to take place before like any of the like Skywalker stuff. So it's kind of like not based on any of that. So all people said it was good because like they don't have to make it fit some kind of story that's already out there. Like they're just creating their own story within like the universities and lightsabers and stuff. But
yeah, that's pretty cool because like it's a kind of the same thing with like the Mandalorian. Like it kind of ties in with the rest of it, but it's like its own separate thing too. And like the Book of Boba Fett when we were watching that. Yeah, but I did see the trailers and stuff for this too, so I was kind of waiting, kind of excited to watch that. It takes place in the final days of the High Republic area, 100 years before the events of Star Wars Episode 1. Wow, so this is way before any Skywalker stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have Disney Plus, so probably won't see it for a while until something comes up there that my wife really wants to see.
One of them has one of the I don't know if it's a Jedi or a Sith, but one of them's got like a freaking whip for a lightsaber.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it actually looks pretty badass. It's pretty good. And there's a Wookiee as a Jedi. That's cool. Yeah, I'll have to watch that. It's good when you're watching Mandalorian with Xavier. And he's like obsessed with that now. And then Bishop wanted to watch the Book of Boba Fett, so we've kind of been watching that too.
That's good.
All right, cool. We went and saw last weekend. What the hell movie did we go see? If the new Ryan Reynolds movie.
If?
Yeah, the imaginary
Was
friends.
that the episode that's like the
Yeah,
imaginary?
it was pretty good.
Was it?
Yep, I enjoyed it.
There's somebody else that's pretty funny in there too, ain't there? Like Steve Carell or somebody.
The guy that plays the dad is the one dude from The Office. What's his name? John Krasinski.
Oh, okay. I got the wrong guy from The Office.
He's in there. And Steve Carell. Steve Carell does the voice of the blue furry imaginary friend.
Oh, so they're both in there. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought like Steve Carell or somebody was in there, but yeah. So it's probably pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's got some sad parts. It's got some funny parts. Primarily funny. It does have a lot of sad parts, but it's pretty good. It's a good family movie. Kind of reminded me a lot of like a more serious take on Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Okay. I thought it'd be more like was it Inside Out?
Oh yeah.
You seen that?
Yeah, I saw that.
With like the personalities, and then they have like the imaginary friend that disappears or whatever.
Oh yeah, Bing Bong. Inside Out 2 is coming out soon. That looks pretty good. The kids are excited for that one. And then
you tried the peach Pepsi yet?
Yeah, I don't like it.
I love it. I got it right now.
Nice.
Mixing it with some Bacardi, and
probably tastes better. Yeah, not a big fan. It's like I don't like the.
Do you like peach?
That much either. Not a whole.
I love the mango Pepsi. Yeah.
Hold on that one. There's another movie we watched last week too. It's Late Night with the Devil.
Scary?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This was good. Basically the premise of it is like a 70s talk show. Late night show. So the guy's like trying to compete with Carson. Like they go through this whole thing. Then their Halloween episode, they decide to bring on a therapist and this girl that thinks she's possessed, or that believes that she's possessed, which ends up being possessed. It goes into this whole thing, and it's really awesome.
I might check it out. Was it on?
This was on. Where do you watch this on?
TV. Okay.
Amazon Prime. What the hell do we watch this on?
I don't think I have
AMC.
Prime right now.
It says AMC Plus, but I know we watched it on Prime. I think it may have been part of like our because we have that subscription for Shudder on Prime, so I think it was part of that.
Yeah.
That was pretty good though. Oh, I'm trying to think of anything else. I don't think there's a whole lot.
I watched Kill Tony finally made the LA Forum episode like free for YouTube. It was like a paid thing. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. Had Post Malone and you remember you watched Young Rock, right?
Yeah.
You know the guy that played Vince McMahon?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does like this Dr. Phil impersonation, like where he dresses up as Dr. Phil, and it's pretty good. And he actually does a show too where he like Dr. Phil, like every once in a while at the Comedy Store. I've watched it a few times. It's been pretty funny.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
They dropped a trailer for Venom 3. I didn't realize that was coming
I saw
out.
that Carnage, right? Or
No,
introducing
this one
Carnage
is
or something.
no, that was the second one. This is the third one.
No.
It's called Venom the Last Dance. Freaking shows the symbiote like attaching itself to a horse. It's freaking cool.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Looks good. I still have to watch the second one, the Let There Be Carnage one.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second one. That's why I got confused because my son brought up Carnage the other day, and kind of like want to be like, hey, don't let's not watch it. Let's go watch like Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s and get introduced to Carnage before we watch this movie because I don't know how good they're gonna do.
Let me show you the good one first before before this one. I mean, I haven't watched it yet, but I've got high hopes for Woody Harrelson as a serial killer psychopath with a alien symbiote that he plays serial killers pretty well.
Yeah.
It could be good.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson, he's one of those like underrated actors, you know.
He is.
He's been in like some good movies. Yeah.
I
love Cheers is like one of those shows that always be like it's like funny no matter like when you watch it.
GalaxyCon added some new wrestling guests. Leva Bates is returning. She's there like every year. Big Con from the Ascension. And Savannah Evans. The three of them will be in attendance for GalaxyCon all 4 days. They were announced as part of the announcement for the cosplay wrestling promotion that GalaxyCon does every year.
Yeah. I've seen that it's like kind of like a growing thing. I've seen like a lot of I think like especially like on TikTok, a lot of the like people that do the impersonations are doing stuff now, like content and stuff. And like the dude that does Dusty Rhodes or whatever.
Oh, those guys, yeah.
Yeah.
Those guys are good.
And then there's like a few people doing like Macho Man, and now like when you see like whenever it's close to like wrestling events, like you see people on TikTok and they'll post like videos of like people cosplaying as like The Rock and Triple H. And
there's
stuff like that.
Matt Cardona was talking about when they go to Japan. There's a fan that's there like every single show that dresses up as him, like specific gear, like right down to like every detail. He's been doing it since his WWE Zack Ryder days. So he just shows he's at the shows dressed as Zack Ryder or Matt Cardona. That's crazy. But the cosplay wrestling, for GalaxyCon is like the wrestlers will actually go in and dress up as characters. Like, I think Chris Statlander was Rogue one year.
Oh, okay. I thought they were talking about like people dressing up as wrestlers.
Oh no, the wrestlers actually cosplay and wrestle. They've had like Rogue, Skeletor, Rick from Rick and Morty, a whole bunch of stuff. It's been pretty cool. Oh, they canceled. Nev Campbell canceled.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That bitch.
Oh, he canceled too?
Who did?
His name is, I'm probably going to butcher it. It's Utkarsh Ambukadar. He is, I don't know if you've seen Pitch Perfect. He played Donald in that, and he's on that show Ghosts on CBS. He plays the husband.
Oh yeah, I don't know this. I mean, I've seen Pitch Perfect, but I don't remember anybody from it.
Yeah, he was like in the first one. Oh, he's been in like all of them, but no, that's kind of disappointing. But they did add. What else did they add? Deborah Ann Wool, who played Jessica on True Blood, and she was in Daredevil.
The blonde girl?
Yeah. That's her character name in
Okay.
Daredevil. Does not say Karen Page in Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
She is one that ends up becoming like their secretary.
I gotcha.
They got a pretty solid lineup for Daredevil. They've got Charlie Cox. They've got her. John Brenthal, of course, was the Punisher. They did have Vincent D'Onofrio was supposed to be here too. But they added her, and they added she played Amara on Supernatural. Emily Swallow.
That's a shame. Neve Campbell canceled though.
Yeah, and Michael
That's
J.
gonna
White.
get her. That's gonna get her and Denise Richards to sign a watch rag. I'm kidding.
Oh man, pretty solid lineup though for GalaxyCon. Got my tickets for that already, so go check that out.
I wonder, like, what's the like kind of like weirdest interaction some of these people have. You know what I mean? Or it's like, because like, of course, like people are like famous for like certain things, right? Like,
yeah.
And it makes you wonder, like, what like references they get like the most. You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
Good.
Barry Bostwick signs underwear.
Yeah.
Like he actually has like tidy whities on his table that he'll sign. Because of Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
We actually have a signed pair of his tidy whities.
Like, I guess people showing up to Neve Campbell like, hey, will you sign my Party at 5 t-shirt?
Oh, I'm sure. Can you sign this still frame from Wild Things?
That's fun pool scene.
In the pool. Oh man.
And like there's all kinds of creeps too. It's like show up. Sure. I used to jerk to you every night before I went to bed. Not the Wild Things though, but the screen.
It's funny because like the picture I got from Victoria, the first time I met her is, she's like, her butt's toward the camera and she's got the TNA knockout title over her shoulder. She's kind of like looking back. So my wife kind of picked on me for getting that one. She's like, you just got it because her ass is showing. I was like, no, partly. But she does have a nice ass. So there's that one. And of course, when we met, she played Nancy in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, okay. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know her name, but I know who Nancy is.
So when we met her, the picture I got, the 8x10 I got for her was the one where she's in the tub and like Freddy's claw coming up out of the water. And my wife looked at me, she's like, really? I was like, that's one of the most iconic scenes in that entire franchise. I was like, it's not, like a pervert thing. It's because it's iconic. Like, come on. And she's like, that's probably the one. She said too, that's the one that she signs the most of. She's like, and that's what everyone says is that it's an iconic scene. I was like, it is iconic.
Yeah, it's kind of like Jack Nicholson coming through the door in The Shining.
It was so frightening that my uncle, who was like a few years older than me, would not take a bath. So he had to take showers the entire time.
I had an uncle or a great uncle that wouldn't take a bath, but it was because he like got shut down in the Pacific Ocean. But
yeah, that's a little different.
Yeah, but yeah, I know people that's gotten like pretty creeped out by like scary movies. I've never been like super duper creeped out. I know, like the ones that got me the most, like when I was really young, my dad made me watch. There's a movie called like Failsafe, and by the time I'm like 7, 8, I don't know when I was watching it, maybe a little younger than that. Cold War, is pretty much finished. Like Ronald Reagan, but there were still like movies like Red Dawn and stuff that had like the elements in it. But there's a movie called Failsafe, and it's like, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's like these two pilots get like a false code that makes them go drop nuclear bombs on Russia, and it gets sent out by accident. And like the whole movie is like basically like them getting like their wives and like the president and stuff like that to like try to convince them to turn around and not drop the bomb or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, of course they drop the bomb, but like in the movie it's like, yeah, like to negotiate peace with Russia, like the U.S. let Russia drop a nuke on like, I think like New York or Los Angeles or something, and it just like scared the shit out of me because I'm like, man, nuclear bombs, like World War III, like it kind of like made me think about stuff like as a kid that you probably like, wouldn't think about, and that got me.
Man,
pretty good. I mean, I wasn't scared of like outside or anything, but I was just worried about World War III and nuclear bombs for a while.
Yeah, I mean, that's a kind of pretty scary thing.
Yeah.
Considering what we know.
Ernest Scared Stupid scared me a little bit too when I was lost. Because I went to bed. I went to bed. I was like 5 or 6. So I went to bed, and I lay down. Like I swore I saw a little troll in my room looking back at me, or what looked like it would be a troll looking back at me.
Oh, I love that movie. So a lot of those the extra trolls in that movie were repainted Killer Clowns from outer space costumes.
Yeah.
I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think of any other movies that scared me like really good.
My wife is trying to troll us. She said that's because Ernest is scary.
Ernest Goes to Jail, that was a good one.
I still like the first Ernest Goes to Camp. That's a classic.
Ernest Goes to Camp, yeah. Yeah. I say Ernest Scared Stupid is probably my favorite though. It has a lot of good stuff in it. I remember one time I was watching Scream by myself and the phone rang. I didn't answer it. I think it was my mom and dad.
Wife says still not as scary as the two of us.
Yeah. I would probably agree with that.
And she wants to know when we're going to do Married to the Podcast.
When are you going to have Married to the Podcast? Are we going to have a wedding up here or something?
No, basically having our wives do the podcast one week.
I don't care. Do it.
For a bonus episode with the wives talking junk.
Yeah.
With people, what the
I'm
people.
gonna go there and ask questions like, "Hey, can you describe can you describe your husband naked?" Let's go from 1 to 10. How well is your husband in bed?
Oh, awesome! All right,
but I kind of want to watch a good scary movie now. Might have to get on like Tubi or something and see what they got in
there. Yeah, let's scroll through there. I don't think I've seen anything too good on there. What did we watch? We watched The Jester. That was on Shudder. That was pretty good. It's kind of like kind of like Terrifier, but not as gory. My wife says Showgirls.
Showgirls is scary.
Scary movie.
Yeah. I wasn't scared of it. I was like, Jesse, what's going on, girl? I'm so excited. I'm just scared.
They do that reboot, Saved by the Bell, and she was like dancing. And Kelly looks at her and goes, "Where did you learn that?" She's like, "Oh, I spent some time in Vegas."
They're doing it. I don't know if you liked it. I enjoyed it. They're doing a second season of that '90s show.
I don't even think I watched it.
Oh, I thought it was funny.
I mean, I wasn't.
I mean, it's not as good as that.
Wasn't a big that '70s show fan to begin with. No.
Oh, I like that '70s show. That's pretty cool. That night show was pretty good too. I mean, a little bit more campy, but it was good.
There's one about the Grinch too. It's called The Mean One, horror movie. That was pretty good.
I never was a Grinch fan.
Yeah, this one was good.
Like the old cartoon.
There's
old cartoon.
There's another one. It's a Christmas-based one. It's got Justin Long in it. It's called "It's a Wonderful Knife." It's really good.
I watched that. I think it's called like Thanksgiving or something, or Black Friday or some shit.
Oh,
it was kind of stupid.
One.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the one where the zombies and they're like trapped inside like a toy store?
No, this was like somebody got killed like during a Black Friday, or a bunch of people got killed during like a Black Friday sale, and then so like the person like starts killing people that were involved that day at the Black Friday sale.
Oh, okay. Might be different then. There is a movie called Black Friday where the town turns into like freaking zombies. And I think it might be called Thanksgiving. I think it is Thanksgiving. It's the one where the guy wears like a pilgrim mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's Thanksgiving. I think like the best like Christmas horror movies would probably be Gremlins. Or Silent Night. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
There's one that we watch on Amazon every year. It's like an anthology of like Christmas horror movies, and it's got William Shatner as a DJ, like a radio DJ. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Santa Slay.
With Goldberg. Awesome. All right. That's pretty much it for No Holds Barred this week. Let's go ahead and kick it over to In Your House. It's pretty much the part of the show where we run down any follow-up that we had from the previous week, which I don't have anything as far as that goes. Carl Marker, you've got anything?
Yeah, I'm never wrong. So.
Okay. Awesome. But yeah. And aside from follow-up, it's just a good spot to remind you to follow us on social media, WrestleGeddonPod, 1D or 2Ds. Just search for it on Instagram or X or Facebook, facebook.com WrestleGeddon, facebook.com/WrestleGeddonPod. But if you're following us, you should already know because you're watching us live on there. And the same thing on YouTube. It'll be youtube.com/ForTheCollection. You can watch us live there every week as well. And also, do not forget about our Redbubble store, redbubble.com/people/WrestleGeddonPod. Best way to support the show besides leaving us some 5-star reviews on wherever you listen to us at, whether it be iTunes, Google, Spotify, any place that you can rate us and give us a review, do that. Or check out redbubble.com/people/WrestleGeddonPod and buy one of our cool shirts. You can get some stickers, you can get all kinds of stuff. Pretty much anything, any of our designs and any type of product there that we have available. Hats, shirts, stickers, hoodies, and so much more. There's even shower curtains. You can buy a WrestleGeddon podcast shower curtain.
Yep, and I'm even willing for $15 a month. I'll send you weekly pictures of my butt off. If you want to do that, just DM us at the WrestleGeddon.
Onlyfans.com/WrestleGeddon podcast. Awesome. All right. Well, that's pretty much going to do it for us this week. We thank you guys for checking us out as always. This, of course, was your WrestleGeddon podcast, episode 239. 239. Coming up on 300 here soon. Yeah, that's going to do it for myself, Chris Heat Matthews, and, of course, the Tennessee Jesus, Carl Crossland. But we'll check you guys next week for another week of wrestling talk. We'll run down results for NXT Battleground as we go into Clash at the Castle, which I believe is next week or the week after. And then the end of the month, we got Forbidden Door. So got some pretty solid pay-per-views coming up. And we'll talk about them. That's going to do it for us. And we'll chat with you guys next week. Later, Marks.
Later, alligator.